The college football video game is back, and I think Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders need to be on the cover.
You are Locked On Buffs, your daily podcast on the Colorado Buffaloes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Buffs. I am your host, Kevin Borba. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. New customers join today and you'll get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. We also brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day for free and available wherever you choose to get your podcast. So thank you guys for making me your first listen of the day. We're talking about the video game. The college football video game has been missing in our lives since 2014, since Denard Robinson was on the cover, and now it is going to be releasing sometime this summer. EA Sports released a teaser on Thursday, and while we didn't really get to see anything crazy, it was still exciting to see that the game is in the works. And so this has led to a flurry of like who's going to be rated the highest, who's going to be on the cover. And I have the perfect cover for Colorado, or for the game. Hint, hint, Colorado. I have the perfect cover for the video game. Dating back to 1994, there has only been one cover where it's been a player-coach combination, back when it was actually called Bill Walsh College Football. And I think Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, and Shedeur Sanders would be the perfect cover for the game this year for three main reasons. Well, for starters, Colorado, obviously, they go 4-8, and that's going to be a lot of people saying, why should they be the cover? They went 4-8. They didn't win games. Well, with that mindset, Colorado went 4-8, and they were still one of the three most watched teams in college football. So the attention is there. How often do you get to have an NFL Hall of Famer, someone who was dominant at the college football level, on the cover of the game as a coach, and have his son on the cover? And it's not just any random father-son duo. It is one of the best, if not the best, quarterbacks in college football. So you get the brand appeal of Colorado, which is arguably, if not the biggest, one of the biggest brands in college football right now. You get Deion Sanders on the cover, which is pretty big, considering he is a multi-generational superstar. Like, people my age, I'm 24. I grew up knowing who Deion Sanders was for simply being one of the best athletes of all time. I was never, I think I was old enough to witness the back end of his football career, but at the same time, I was young. But there's people before me, my parents, my older cousins, my older cousins, they witnessed Deion Sanders. Now, people before them even witnessed him during his college career. So he has been spanned across multiple generations. People of all ages love and adore him. And so having him on the cover, people would probably buy it just to have it. Like, realistically, like the hard copy, people would buy that just to support Coach Prime. In terms of the father-son duo aspect of it, it's not often you get a father-son duo in any sport where it's like they're worth being at the pinnacle of the sport. You know, we have seen a lot of father-son duos come across sports. Mike Gundy and his son this past season. I'm trying to think of other ones, like RJ Hunter and his father back in 20 whatever that was during the March Madness run. But for them to both be at the top of the game is insane. And then Shedeur Sanders is literally, if he's not the best quarterback in college football, at worst, he's number 3. I would put Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck kind of in that conversation, and I think Shedeur is up there. And so if it's not for Coach Prime or Shedeur Sanders, which I think it should be them, these are the other names that I think make sense. I talked about this in a recent article I wrote over on Athlon. Nick Saban, if they go like the legendary coach route, like he retired, kind of like a nice send-off into the, okay, this is what he did for college football. We appreciate him, and he just deserves to be on it for being a legend. It would be like kind of cool sending off, because Bill Walsh was a legend. He started the game, and what better way to start the new edition of the game than a legend who is leaving coaching. He's going to be on ESPN's College Game Day, but he's leaving coaching. So that would be interesting. Caleb Williams, the former USC quarterback, who's probably going to be the number 1 pick, has been tabbed as the first pick of this draft since I think he took over for Spencer Rattler a couple years ago, 3 years ago now. He's just been that guy the entire time. And he's someone who dominated college football. He's an exciting player. They used to when they released the older games, it would be like someone who is 1 year or not 1 year removed, someone who is basically a rookie in the NFL or someone who is no longer in college football. And so if they do that again, Caleb Williams seems like the perfect candidate for that. He was just polarizing figure in college football, best quarterback in the country. And if you guys pay close attention to his Dr. Pepper commercials, the Fansville ones, which I love, they're hilarious. I look forward to those every Saturday during college football and even the random times they play during non-college football seasons or during non-college football times. There was a video game, or there was a commercial, excuse me, where he is holding it was like about being cursed or jinxes. So he's like walking under ladders. He has a black cat. And then he goes, I mean, even on the cover of this video game. And I don't know if that was like maybe a way too early like tease of it, or maybe that was just kind of like a going with the Madden curse. But I do think that's something to look out for. Then staying with someone who's in college football right now, you go Quinn Ewers from Texas. Texas is probably the biggest brand in college football at all times, even when they're bad. And they're officially, quote unquote, back. And so the quarterback that brought them back, he could be in the mix. But I do think Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders have a really good case. Realistically, they were just polarizing. Like everyone was tuned into college football. Coach Prime has already kind of shown that he's kind of the hottest commodity in college football. He does Aflac commercials, KFC commercials. I think I saw him do a California almond commercial. Like the dude does everything. And he has an Amazon Prime docuseries. I think they know that if they put him on the cover in some capacity, this game will sell out in a major way. Now, it's probably already going to sell out because so many people love the game, but there's probably going to be people who don't have gaming systems that buy it just to support Coach Prime. That's just how it is. That would just be another example of the Coach Prime effect. And then obviously, like I said earlier, Shedeur Sanders, he's probably one of the best quarterbacks in college football, could be the best quarterback in college football next season. So I think the case is there for the two buffs to be on it. I think that they have sort of that appeal of so many people love them, so many people hate them. I think people would love to talk about it either way. I do think that this game is going to be an awesome addition to college football. I think Coach Prime and Shedeur Sanders could be on a cover coming near you. This episode of Locked On Buffs is brought to you by our sponsors over at FanDuel. Get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 if your bet wins. You get quick bets, live same-game parlays, exclusive props, and more. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and shoot your shot. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Welcome back to Locked On Buffs. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, making me your first listen of the day. We're free and available wherever you may get your podcast. So make sure to like, subscribe, follow. We're getting near 5,000 subscribers. I appreciate your guys' support. Let's do it. Okay. Ratings. We're probably like, what is he going to rate? I'm actually going to rate my favorite foods that I had a couple weeks ago on my trip. No, I'm just kidding. We are talking about NCAA or college or whatever the game's going to be called, college football video game ratings, because I think we all want to know everything to know about this game, whether it's the cover athlete, who's going to be the highest rated team, who's going to be the highest rated player. I think Colorado has a legitimate case for two players to be rated as 99 overall. Now, if you're not familiar with video games, let me tell you, 99 overall, except for I think one NBA game back in the day where I think it was Shaq was rated a 100. I think that's who it was. 99 is the highest rating overall. Basically means you're the best player in the game. You're the best player in the sport. And I think Colorado has a legitimate case for having two of the best players in the sport. And now you're probably wondering, why does that matter? And I wanted to tie this in with the video game cover as well. On top of Shedeur and Coach Prime being possible candidates for the cover, Shedeur being a possible 99, and the second person will be Travis Hunter, who I think has maybe a better case than Shedeur at being a 99. Having that kind of allure to Colorado, it only helps recruiting even more. You realize when you come to Colorado, you are getting attention. You are going to get NIL deals when you ball out, and you're just going to get so many different avenues of kind of like compensation. You kind of get certain things that other programs cannot offer you. And also, if Coach Prime starts winning, you're winning college football games. So you're getting money, you're getting fame, you're getting attention, and you're winning college football games. What better proposition is that than Coach Prime's recruiting offer is quite the offer. He's an NFL Hall of Famer who could offer you money if you play well, not him personally, but offer you NIL deals, or you can earn NIL deals if you play well. You get national attention, and you get to win college football games. If they start to win games, that is the ultimate pitch right there. That is everyone's dream in college football. But I broke down the 5 players that I think could be 99 overall players in this game, and Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter were 2 of them. Starting with, I'll just go with all of them because there's a couple Big 12 guys in here as well. Ollie Gordon, excuse me, the Oklahoma State running back who Colorado is going to have to deal with in the Big 12. Realistically, he is the best running back in the country. He is a bruiser. He has no issues running around, over, and through people. And Colorado will get to meet with him their final week of the season. Oklahoma State to project a top 25 team. Ollie Gordon rushed for 1,700 yards and 21 touchdowns on 6.1 yards per carry this past season and broke a ton of tackles along the way. I talked about this guy as a possible cover of the game. Quinn Ewers from Texas. He has elite arm strength. He's kind of one of the best quarterbacks in college football. Him and Shedeur, I think, are the 2 best. I think you could flip them. If you told me Shedeur was the best, I'd be like, yeah, I agree. If you told me Quinn was the best, I'd be like, yeah, I could see that. So that's another one. Then you get Shedeur. So he's an elite quarterback, has elite arm strength, decision maker, and this is quite if we're talking video game wise, and even in real life, because obviously you need your quarterback to have this quality. He's tough. He got sacked 50 something times last season with a horrible offense line, and realistically missed 1 game. He played in the Washington State game. We'll call it 1.5. He was able to endure all of the hits he took. So his toughness rating should be like a 99 in and of itself. If he's not a 99 overall, his toughness rating needs to be a 99 because that guy is as tough as nails. He's someone who he's quicker than people realize. I don't know what his speed rating would be, but I do remember him getting, I think it was against USC, getting clocked at 20 miles per hour when he was rushing for a touchdown. So he is kind of like the complete package. Like I wouldn't say he's like a Johnny Manziel type character or even Michael Vick where you could just run around in the backfield and be running all over the place. But he is someone who could scoot if needed. And I think that's the perfect video game quarterback. Then there's Harold Perkins from LSU. He's a linebacker that can get to the quarterback, has 13 sacks over his two seasons. He's also forced 3 fumbles and 2 picks in over the couple of seasons he's been at LSU. So he is the dog on defense. And then obviously Travis Hunter. Anytime, and I don't know if you guys remember the game, but there was a time where I believe, specifically the last one, the 2014 game, which is the one I played the most because obviously it was the last one, where you would recruit people during the dynasty mode and they would be an athlete. And so you could, one of the things you would do when you recruited athletes was you picked their position. So you would see whatever their rating was or whatever your team needed. So if he was like a 99 overall and had 99 speed and you needed a quarterback, it's like, okay, I'm going to put this dynamic athlete at quarterback, or you could put him at receiver, but he could also play corner. Travis Hunter, is a video game cheat code that is real life and will probably be garnering a 99 rating. He is viewed as one of the best receivers in the country. He is viewed as one of the best corners in the country. And guess what? He does both of them part-time. If he focused on one position, he would be the best at that position easily. And he probably could be considered the best at either position anyway. He's very smart. He has one of the best IQs in college football, as we see on most of his interceptions. It is him baiting the quarterback into a throw. Then he's using his elite athleticism to dive or cover ground. And then he's also just a freak of nature. He's fast. He's strong. So I think Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders both have that potential to kind of be 99 overalls. I think even Travis can make a case for the video game cover, but I do feel like they'd probably go with the Sanders duo just because of the father-son kind of uniqueness that would provide. And I think they're 2 of the most popular people in college football. And I would say Travis Hunter is up there as well, but I do think Shedeur and Coach Prime are kind of a little more popular than Travis Hunter right now, just simply because it's a father-son duo, NFL Hall of Famer, his son, a quarterback, plays the most important position in college football or in football in general. So I do think that Colorado can not only have possibly 2 cover people, they could also have possibly 2 99 overall players, which would be pretty crazy considering Colorado just 2 years ago was like the most irrelevant program in the country, which is really crazy to think about. But that is the world we live in with Coach Prime at the helm, and it is a fun world to be in if you're in the Colorado realm of things. This episode of Locked on Buffs is also brought to you by our sponsors over at Game Time. Game Time is a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. See the view from your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All in prices show your total up front, so you know you're getting a great deal before you check out. Buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute seats. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Right now, all Game Time users get $100 off a big game ticket with code VEGAS100. Terms apply. Just download the Game Time app and use code VEGAS, Vegas, the number 100 for $100 off a big game ticket. Or if you're not going to the game, use code LOCKED ON. That's LOCKED, capital ON, for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Welcome back to Locked on Buffs. I appreciate you guys tuning in, making me your first listen of the day. Like I say, we're free and available wherever you get your podcasts, and we got a good topic today because we're talking about Colorado's win total. Our friends over at FanDuel have released the win totals for just about every team in college football, and they set Colorado's, which they raised it, and I talked about this a while ago when they first dropped the initial one, which was 4.5. They raised it a full game to 5.5, and let me tell you, if I were a betting man, I would be smashing the over because this Colorado team is much improved. There are 3 reasons. I'm just getting excited out here. 3 reasons that I think Colorado is going to not only exceed this rating or their projected win total, but I think they could be possibly contending. You got Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, 2 of the best players in college football. They are going to dominate on both sides of the ball. Shedeur is going to have a huge year. Colorado's biggest weakness last season, this is my second reason, was they were horrendous in the trenches. They upgraded both the offense line. They'll probably have 5 new starters on the offense line, and they upgraded the defense line. They will probably have a whole new defense line, whole new starting defense line this next season with better pass rushers, guys better at stopping the run. So they got better in the trenches, and I think they learned a lot from their first season in terms of what they were bad at. So discipline. Knowing the rules. I think that was an underrated one, but I think Colorado was caught too many times not knowing kind of the ins and outs of the rules. They would be substituting on offense with little to no time left on the play clock, and then all of a sudden the defense has time to substitute. So they would trot on 3 500-pound defense linemen, not 500 pounds, but 350-pound defense linemen who'd run out there, take their time, run back, and all of a sudden delay of game. I think there's some time management things that Colorado needs to square away, and it's a learning experience for everyone. So Coach Prime is going to know how to manage games better, and this Colorado team is just going to be in a better situation than they were last season. Also, this is my bonus reason. Their schedule, while it's hard, I think it's easier than last season. And you're probably going to be like, what on earth are you talking about? I look at the schedule, and I'll go over it again and I'm not going to do my official win total projection until this, like prior to the season. But right now I'm hovering around 7-8. I think it could go up as the season gets closer, but I'm hovering around that 7-8 range. But I look at their schedule, and obviously you don't want to take anyone for granted. They could very well lose week 1 against North Dakota State if they don't if they're not on their P's and Q's. But I look at the schedule, and they just need to win 6 games. So I look at this North Dakota State game. I think it's a frisky opponent. I think they beat North Dakota State. Nebraska, they're going to have a young quarterback. Dylan Raiola, he'll probably be really good eventually, but I do think that Colorado gets the best of him. Excuse me, I had a burp. At Colorado State, road game, rivalry. I still think they should beat Colorado State. I think they should blow out Colorado State. I think they should have blown them out this past season. But honestly, I think they were sniffing their own, too much. I think Colorado got a little too caught up in the attention. They had so many superstars in attendance of the game. They had so much hoopla and all this. And it was like, okay, I think I lost sight of the bigger picture. Then Baylor. Baylor's one of the worst teams in college football, I think. And I think they beat them. It's homecoming as well. So they're going to beat Baylor. So right now they're 4-0. I think at UCF, tough game. Think they could win that. That's 5. Then they have Kansas State and Arizona next. I think they lose both of those. But I do think they beat Cincinnati, who is one of the worst teams in college football as well. That's 6 wins right there. Say they lose to UCF. And so they're currently sitting at 5-3. They get Texas Tech, which I think is a beatable team. It just depends on how good their quarterback play is, because last season it was all right. it was all right. Depends on if Baron Morton could take that next step or if they have a younger quarterback that kind of succeeds him. Then they have Utah, which that's going to be a tough one at Kansas, excuse me, and then Oklahoma State. So realistically, I think they're going to win 6 games by the time October 26th comes around. If not, by the time November 9th comes around, I think they'll be, which is the Texas Tech game, I think they'll be battling for that 6th win. So again, last season, the win total, I believe, was 3.5. Yeah, let me pull this up real quick. 3.5 this past season for the Buffs. And I think it's kind of cool to see that they've doubled that mark, but I do think that they'll hit the over again this season and make a bowl game. And the Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes are going to be buzzing, and you won't want to miss it. And I will keep you covered every step of the way here on Locked On Buffs. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, making me your first listen of the day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, give me 5 stars. And let's get that subscriber count up to 5,000. We're inching closer. I appreciate you guys. Let's do it. I will see you guys on Monday. I hope you guys have a delightful weekend and enjoy your day off if you have Monday off.